When you grow up in the 1980s, you're privileged to a lot of really awesome and rad things. We invented the word rad. There was literally a movie called Rad. So experiencing the 1980s for me as someone living in 2025, it's really awesome to be able to look back at my childhood and talk about those things that I experienced with people that didn't get to experience it. It's actually a really cool thing, and I'm happy to be here to do this. So with that being said, today, I want to talk about 10 different toys that me and the boys played with in the 80s. Damn! We might as well start the list off with number one on this list, G.I. Joe. Now, G.I. Joe, for me, holds a really special place because for some reason, it was one of the first toys that I played with, and I absolutely loved it. My dad was a prison guard when I was growing up as a little kid, and my parents got divorced when I was really young, so at that point in time, I always looked at my dad as my hero, but I didn't get to see him much. But to me, he kind of reminded me of G.I. Joe. He pretty much looked like that G.I. Joe guy with the beret. Anyways, G.I. Joe was something that me and the boys watched growing up and collect all the action figures. You got all the details in the action figures on the packages, and it was just a really cool thing to collect. Number one on this list, G.I. Joe. At a really close second on this list, number two, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, for me, the Ninja Turtles started with the cartoon, and the action figures kind of came along with that. But in the reality of things, the action figures came before the TV show, from what I know. It will always be a favorite of mine. I guarantee it was always a favorite of all the other boys that grew up in the 1980s. Next up on the list, we have Masters of the Universe. The Masters of the Universe toy series also was another series that came out before the show, but had huge success leading to the show coming out. I once again think I saw the show before the action figures, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Those days in the 80s are a little fuzzy, but I'm here for it. And all I know is it was one of my favorite toys. Masters of the Universe. Great, amazing toy that me and the boys loved. Number four on the list, we have Transformers. Now, if you're a boy growing up in the 80s and you saw Transformers, it had to have been your favorite thing. They were my favorite toy when I was very, very, very young. I'm talking 2 years old. I had a bunch of them. I don't know what happened to them. One day I woke up and they disappeared. It was very sad. It affected me emotionally for the rest of my life. But the fact that you could transform a toy from an action figure into a car or a vehicle, that was absolutely incredible. Now, I can't talk in this video without showing you all my Power Master Optimus Prime. This is a classic Transformer from the 1980s that I was once again gifted from my dad. It transforms into a base. It transforms into a big Optimus Prime. It transforms into the truck. You pop his hat out and it's the whole thing. Flip that over. This was awesome. Now you always gotta watch out for his head popping off, but incredibly that this little knob right here hasn't broken on the head, because pretty much every other nub in this thing has broken off besides this. Even that broke off. And I think I remember specifically breaking him off like an idiot as a kid. What are you gonna do? Honorable mention, Mask, not as much as Transformers. GoBots, similar to Transformers, but yeah, we were living in that Transform era, and we thrived in it. So, number four, Transformers. We wanted fancy cars, and we wanted them in our pockets. Number five, Micro Machines. Now, the Micro Machines were absolutely incredible. They were little cars, little just die-cast, incredible little cars. I wish I had them. I bet you they're worth a bunch of money. They're so small, and The greatest part about the Micro Machines experience, in my opinion, was watching the commercials with the Micro Machine guy who talked a million miles an hour. As a kid, you thought this guy was awesome, and you thought the Micro Machine set that he pulled out of his pocket was absolutely incredible as well. From Galoob, from me to you, Micro Machines. Number 6 on the list, we have the Atari 2600. We have to throw some video games in there. I mean, it took up the majority of our time. By the time video games really came into our lives, they took a precedent kind of over everything else. Now, granted, our parents were like, all right, we don't want you in front of the TV the whole time. Go play with your G.I. Joes for a while. But we cherished our time with that 2600. Now, as a kid, I played Pac-Man, I played E.T., and I loved all those games. This whole backlash where they talk about the backlash against E.T. and the backlash against Pac-Man, I never saw that. I never experienced that. I thoroughly enjoyed those games and absolutely loved it when I played them. So it was such an amazing experience playing all the different games on the Atari. Pitfall, Atari 2600, you will always have a special place in my heart. Especially that joystick. Number 7 on the list, ThunderCats. It was the sword. I just remember having a ThunderCats sword and holding it up and it being the greatest thing and saying, ThunderCats, ho! And just absolutely being completely transported into that world. I barely remember the show, but I remember that. I do remember the show being awesome and I loved it very much. I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of this stuff because it's been far too long, guys. Maybe we'll react to it. Put it on the channel. Now, I don't want to brag or anything, but I will say this. I did have a Voltron. I'm pretty sure I had 2 of them. It's a little foggy, but I know I had at least one. My buddy Aaron definitely had one. And yeah, I mean, what can you say? Voltron was action figures that you pieced together to create one big action figure. And like a mech, like one big mech type monster thing. This is all from Japan, and there's a whole lore behind all of it. That you go on the internet and find those videos. They'll tell you more about that, but that's not my thing. Of course, we all seen the Ghostbusters movie. Coming in at number 9, we have the Ghostbusters. The thing with the Ghostbusters is it translated very well to a cartoon. It translated very well to toys. That's what we really remember as kids, was the cartoon and the toys. The movies we watched with our parents, but it wasn't the same as the cartoon and the toys. Now, don't get me wrong, the movies are classics, and that's where the lore stems from originally, but playing with the Ghostbuster toys, having the Ecto-1 toy, you could get the tower, you could get you could get the place where they lived. It was just incredible, you know, having, to me, the moment that I got my Ghostbuster pack with the Ghostbuster thing, because I did have one. My dad got me that for Christmas one year. That was one of the greatest moments of my life. Now, last but not least, one thing that I played with from the 80s that I played with all the time was Simon. This little round thing right here with the 4 pads, and you had to try to keep guessing the color coordinated order pattern over time, and it just got more and more complex. To me, was the craziest thing ever invented, and today, even to this day, seems like an incredible toy. I had a lot of fun playing with this. It exercised my mind, preparing me for the future, preparing my memory for the realities of... Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like things from the 80s and feel nostalgic, do me a favor, Ian.
Please subscribe, please